Here is an expanded, rewritten version of the story in continuous narrative prose with no headings, subheadings, or breaks. Just a flowing, detailed tale that builds on the original while deepening the characters, emotions, sensory details, and dramatic tension for better immersion. Perfect for long-form narration or video scripting. After weeks of the same infuriating routine, coming home to find his mailbox reduced to jagged splinters yet again. Marcus Hendricks, a 52-year-old retired Navy Seabee engineer, finally reached his limit. The latest destruction had happened overnight. The beautiful hand-carved oak box his grandfather had designed decades ago. The one Marcus had painstakingly recreated over 3 weekends with cedar shavings still clinging to his workbench, lay in pieces across the wet asphalt like confetti from a storm. As he stood there in yesterday's work clothes, the acrid diesel smell from his truck still clinging to him, he watched Delilah Thornburg's pristine white Cadillac Escalade glide backward out of her driveway across the street. The chrome bumper bore fresh dents and paint scrapes that matched the wreckage perfectly. Rage tasted metallic on his tongue, sharp and bitter like licking a 9-volt battery. That was the moment he decided, no more flimsy wood. This time, he would build something unbreakable. Marcus had moved to Willowbrook subdivision, hoping for quiet after 20 years in the Seabees, building airstrips under fire, bridging rivers while bullets zipped past, trading combat boots for a tool belt and civilian retirement. The modest ranch house on Maple Street had good bones, morning sun in the yard, and the promise of peaceful weekends tinkering in the garage. The real estate agent never mentioned the HOA's iron grip or its self-appointed enforcer. Willowbrook looked magazine perfect. Identical cream, sage, or beige houses, manicured lawns, driveways clean enough to eat off. But rules outnumbered reason, and Delilah Thornburg, 47, real estate agent for Prestige Properties and HOA treasurer for 6 unchallenged years, ruled it all with blonde hair that never moved, designer clothes she never sweated in, and a smile like honey over shattered glass. Their first clash came when Marcus installed the oak mailbox. Solid, peaked roof, earth tone stain, grandfather's exact specs. Delilah clip-clopped up in heels, voice dripping false sweetness. That's not in compliance with community standards. He showed her the bylaws on his phone. Section 4. 3 allowed natural wood, height and setback perfect. Her eyes narrowed. The written rules are one thing. Community harmony is another. A man of your background understands fitting in. The pause on background lingered like an insult. Maybe she dug into his Navy discharge papers. Maybe she just resented a blue-collar veteran in her polished world. The mailbox days, he said quietly. She photographed it 3 times, pursed her lips, and purred away in her Escalade. By Friday, it was demolished, post snapped, flower bed gouged by tire tracks. Police came, shrugged. Neighborhood disputes needed video or witnesses. A cease and desist arrived Monday on thick cream paper from Thornburg and Associates. 72 hours to comply or $500 daily fines. Marcus read it over black Navy coffee and saw the bluff. 20 years of military problem-solving whispered. When they lean on paperwork, their ground is shaky. He started at the courthouse. Original 1987 bylaws were reasonable. No purple houses, cars garaged. But 90% of Delilah's standards had never been voted in. No 60% approval, number 30-day notice. She'd invented a dictatorship. Next, financial records. $47,000 funneled to Thornburg Consulting Services over 3 years for landscaping and maintenance that never happened. Ruth Kowalski, 78, retired paralegal 2 doors down, knocked with warm oatmeal cookies and a folder of years-old evidence. Patterns of harassment driving families out cheap, so Prestige could flip high. Discriminatory citations, manipulated comps, a quiet gentrification scheme for profit. Marcus documented everything. Time-stamped photos, recordings, a green military notebook turned evidence log. He rebuilt the oak mailbox, same design, but this time with a hidden motion-activated infrared camera broadcasting to cloud storage. 4 days later, 3 a.m. Alert. Dark SUV. Headlights off. baseball bat swinging. License plate obscured, but the dented rear quarter panel glowed in infrared. Delilah's Escalade had confessed. The harassment escalated. Petition taped to his door accusing him of noise, illegal business, aggression. 12 signatures, half in similar handwriting. Coordinated complaints flooded city offices. Inspectors measured flower beds with lasers. But allies emerged. Jorge Santos down the street, cybersecurity expert with Ring coverage and body cam, pulled footage of Delilah's clipboard tours spreading lies about Marcus tanking values. At an emergency safety meeting, Jorge's hidden recording caught her fabricating data, claiming 5-year declines when comps showed 12% rises and pressuring closings for prestige. The HOA meeting became the turning point. Marcus arrived in his best Navy shirt, Ruth in courtroom pantsuit, Jorge wired for sound. Delilah presented slides, circling his house in red like a crime scene. Ruth interrupted with real MLS printouts. Jorge exposed fake numbers. Marcus played audio of her admitting timeline pressure for his removal. Then Ruth dropped the bomb. $47,000 in ghost payments to her shell company, signed by board president Cornelius Blackwood. The room turned. Whispers became shouts. Delilah's mask shattered, but she doubled down. Tires slashed at 2:47 a.m. Her body language on Jorge's cam. Forged permits for emergency maintenance. Restraining order from Judge Peton, Cornelius's golf buddy, banning Marcus from meetings or construction. Expanded injunction froze his work, demanded surveillance removal. Desperation reeked like stale smoke. Detective Sarah Morrison from the state AG's HOA Fraud Task Force revealed the bigger picture. Delilah's scam spanned 7 communities, multi-year, RICO level. The steel mailbox, marine-grade core, welded joints stronger than ship hulls, oak cladding, sensors for K-night vision cams, impact alerts, GPS, cellular backup, was complete. Legal under bylaws, irresistible bait. Thursday morning, Delilah led trucks and a demolition crew to his garage. Emergency work order, she waved fraudulent papers. Crew eyed the steel beast. This'll take hours. Sledgehammer rang like a bell. Sparks, clang, handle cracked. No vent. Federal unmarked cars rolled in. Morrison stepped out. Delilah Thornburg, you're under arrest. Conspiracy, embezzlement, civil rights violations under color of law. Handcuffs clicked in slow motion. Cornelius screeched up in his BMW Pale. Arrested too. Crew leader Vincent Torres flipped. News van captured all. Delilah screamed from the cruiser. Property values will collapse. Neighbors shouted back. 6 months later, she got 5 years federal. Cornelius 3 and lifetime ban. Recovered funds created a scholarship for HOA fighting law students. New board, Ruth treasurer, Jorge secretary, Marcus president. Burned the old rulebook, replaced it with 3 Democratic pages. Property values jumped 18%. Unity Day featured food trucks, music, a smashed cardboard mailbox, booth with foam hammers. The steel one, scarred, unbreakable, became Fort Knox, a neighborhood landmark, selfies included. Marcus stands in his driveway, at sunrise now, coffee steaming, tasting hope instead of metal. The stress is gone. The garage smells of linseed oil again. Neighbors talk openly, kids laugh freely, families stay instead of flee. If your HOA nightmare feels endless, document relentlessly, find allies, build something they can't break. Justice isn't just revenge, it's multiplied when shared. Share your story below. Subscribe for more tales of ordinary people toppling suburban tyrants. Because sometimes the strongest defense is the one that refuses to yield.